Hi, this is Sam of Core Yoga, and for the next 30 minutes we're going to be working through a strength sequence that's going to help runners build appropriate strength for improving their running form and efficiency. And today we're focusing on balance and plyometric lift. So we're going to start with our feet hip distance apart. Noticing the space between the feet should only be as large as could fit one other foot. And so keeping those feet as straight as possible, just start by rocking forwards onto the tiptoes and back onto the heels. So you might notice the first few times you do this, the ankles spray out to the sides. You might find that when you rock back onto the heels, it feels a little wobbly. When you rock onto the tiptoes, it also feels a little wobbly. That's totally fine. The muscles around the feet, the ankles, and then up the chain are starting to respond to these movement patterns. So feeling the soles of the feet, noticing the weight into the heel, noticing the weight into the midfoot. Good. And then come to flat feet once again, and then just start by rocking from side to side. Just going from inner to outer edge of the foot. So we're just tuning in, getting that proprioception, that sense of feeling of the soles of the feet. When we run, it's important that we notice what's going on the soles of the feet so we can start to tune into inefficiencies in the running game, particularly in the push off, the toe off, that we, when we push our feet off the floor, that we're going to be focusing on today. And then from there, you're just going to plant the feet flat again and just rock from side to side. And this will encourage the feet again to move, to rock as you internally and externally rotate the femur bones. We're just focusing on it by swinging. Good. And then from here, come back to feet hip distance apart. We'll just start with a few roll downs. As you exhale, tuck the chin, draw the navel to the spine, soften the knees and allow the body to come down to the floor. And as you exhale, push the feet into the floor and slowly roll yourself up. Nice. So just do that a couple more times. As you exhale, draw the navel to the spine, arch through that back, soften the knees, roll forward. And as you exhale, feel the soles of the feet in contact with the floor as you lift up. And this time you're going to exhale as you come all the way down. You're going to stay here at the bottom as you inhale, raise onto your tiptoes. And then exhale, press the heels down into the floor to come all the way up. And then at the top, inhale, lift the feet, lift the midfoot, come onto the heels. So you're exhaling to roll yourself down. You're in no rush, you're inhaling to come onto your tiptoes, looking at your ankles, making sure that they stay in line with the feet. You're exhaling to roll yourself up. Then you're inhaling to rock back onto the heels. Exhale, tuck the chin, roll yourself forward. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, press the heels down. Whole feet press into the floor. And inhale, lift the heels. This time slightly different, the other way around. Inhale, press the feet down, reach the hands to the sky, raise onto your tiptoes. And then as you exhale, you're coming forward into your forward fold, feet are flat. Inhale, reaching up. Now we have less rounding of the spine, lifting the heels. And then exhaling as we're flying forward, so a bit more yoga style-y now. Inhale, press the feet down, raise onto the tiptoes, keep the ankles in line with the feet, and then exhale, come all the way back and down. This time, inhale, just come all the way up to standing, and exhale, hold it here. So take the feet just slightly wider, about shoulder width distance apart. We're going to just do a few rounds of deadlift, not to lift weight, but really to feel the sensations in the feet. So you're going to inhale, hinge the hips back with a flat back, touch the floor, press the midfoot into the floor and come all the way to stand. So we inhale to hinge the hips, soften the knees, touch the floor, exhale, press the midfoot into the floor. So you want to feel on the midfoot either side of the midfoot. So you want to feel an even pressure under the big toe joint and the little toe joint. The heel is still on the floor here, but I'm just bringing your attention to that midfoot. Very often when we run, we have inefficiencies through the body, maybe due to tightness, maybe due to habit, where we take too much weight on the outer edge or too much weight on the inner edge of the foot. And we want to feel a nice even balance right now. When we actually run, we roll from the outer edge of the foot to the inner edge of the foot. So we want to push off that last moment from the big toe. We'll feel that when we come into the plyometrics. This is your last deadlift on 2 legs. And then come all the way up and bring your feet together, and we'll take a single leg deadlift. So if you have weights available to you, feel free to grab a little bit of load right now. Press into the left foot and just raise the right foot. Feel what the foot did. Mine just rolled onto the outer edge before I was able to sustain some balance here. Keep nice and open through the chest, exactly the same movement pattern, but you're just on a single leg. So you're doing a single leg deadlift. I like to engage the hamstring of my right leg when I do this because it just brings attention to some other running muscles. But the attention today is what's going on in the foot now you're balancing on one leg. Press that midfoot nice and evenly and keep the heel nicely grounded. Of course, when we run, all these 3 points of contact of the feet are not pressing down into the floor at the same time, but we use them all throughout the period of the run. Nice. We'll then take a squat in between before we go from one side to the other. So shoulder width distance apart, a little bit of a turn out at the toe, like 20 degrees. Sit back in an imaginary chair and then squeeze the bum and lift. So now there's a little more weight in the heels as we instigate that glute activation to lift up. We're just taking a few rounds of squat also to mobilize the hips a little bit. Good. And then one more like this. Then coming back to that single leg, you're on your right leg this time. You're nice and open through the chest and you're giving your body a moment to settle. When you come to balance on one leg, keep the pelvis in alignment. Don't allow the pelvis to drop. And then from there, you're going to hinge back. You might be tighter on one side than you are on another, and that might impact your form and your alignment in that single leg deadlift. Feel the soles of the feet, and then notice as you come to push up off the floor, notice if your toes start to grip the floor. Don't let them grip the floor. Allow them to be pretty relaxed. If anything, it's the big toe that wants to push into the floor, because that's the last thing to be in contact with the floor before we lift up when we run. Nice. And just take one more on this side. So not only are you activating some key running specific strength muscles in the pelvis and in the thighs, but you're also getting some stability, and you're also starting to mobilize and open through those spaces also. So from here, we're going to now just do a nice, super slow and controlled sprinter start. So we're going to have a left foot forward. We're going to notice if our pelvis tilts and bring that nice and neutral. Right arm forward, left elbow back. So both elbows are bent at 90 degrees. My left one is back and my right one is forward. And I'm just slowly going to swap sides as I drive my right knee forward and then bring it back. So they're doing this super slow because in a moment we're going to add a lift of the heel. So we're just pressing into that left leg to lift the heel and then bringing it back and down. We're pressing into that left foot to lift the heel, bringing it back and down. And we're trying to be slow and controlled, and we'll notice that our balance will get offline, and that's why we're doing this. We're reminding the body that these muscles, look, there we go, I lost my balance, want to be working for us to help us feel this sense of alignment and control through running form. Stop on that side and then come to the other side. So right foot is forward, left leg is back. Left arm is forward, right elbow's back. So actually our focus today is the feet, but very much this movement, control and driving of the elbows, is going to have a massive effect on your ability to stabilize from the floor. From here, we're just going to start with nice and slow and controlled sprinter starts. So we're lifting one leg, and then we're going to add a little lift of the heel. One side will be easier for you than the other. You might notice, so I did in my first couple, the weight, which is normal for my body, will go onto the outer edge of the foot on the right side. So I have to bring attention to it. And I know that in my body, so before I start to run, I bring attention to that big toe side of my midfoot, so that when I'm running, it's remembering what to do. And then release. So from here, a couple more deadlifts, a couple more squats. Inhale, hinge the hips. This is lengthening out hamstrings. You're feeling midfoot to come to lift. You're drawing the fingers towards or to the floor. Nice. And then we're going to work through a series of lunge, plank, hop and single leg work to continue to build strength and mobility in these muscles. Good. Then for a few squats, sit back and down, squeeze and lift. Keep those knees in alignment with the ankles, so don't allow them to draw in, don't allow them to sway out, and then keeping them coming no far further forward than where your shoelaces would be. Good. So we'll start off with reverse lunge. We'll do 3 regular reverse lunge. Then we're going to come into a reverse lunge to a balance for 3. Then we're going to come into a reverse lunge to a balance and a lift for 3. So right leg's moving all the time, left foot staying on the floor. Reverse lunge, right foot back, touch the floor, come to stand. So nice, simple start to begin with. Good. Nice. Then feeling that midfoot, come to balance, drive the opposite elbow back. So now we're starting to use the upper body, even though we're focused on the lower body. That's 3 like that. Then we're going to add the lift, touch the floor, come through, and lift. Touch the floor, come through, and lift. Don't worry that you wobble, it's all part of the process. Take your time to find that stability. And then from here, come back, down with your back leg, and then step back out into a plank. Then push the floor away from you with your hands, push back in your heels, squeeze your right glute, lift your right leg, squeeze your left glute, lift your left leg. So you're going to march this plank using the muscles in the back of the hips, strengthening that glute max, and that power muscle, while strengthening core at the same time. Good. And then from there, step or walk to the top, come up to stand. Left foot on the floor, right leg is lifted. Make sure the pelvis doesn't move, and just simple hops on the spot. So little, we're not looking for height. We're imagining we've got a spot on the floor and we're just hopping on that spot. Feel the sole of your foot, feel the heel touch the floor, and then come to standing. So from there, we're going to do a single leg deadlift on the left side. Raise the right knee, hinge the hips, touch the floor, come come all the way back to standing. So now single leg deadlift on that left side, same side that we've been working. Good. And then one more. Right foot forward, right foot stays planted, back to the reverse lunge sequence. So right leg back with just 3 regular reverse lunges. And then 3 to balance. Drive the left elbow back as you lift the left knee. Feel the foot of the right side, then add a little lift. This is my hard side. To that right. Stabilize. Good. The wobbling is part of the process, remember. Keep the hands on the floor. Step back. March your plank. Nice. Nice and light as you land. Good. Use the glutes to lift the leg. And then step in and up. Right foot, left leg lifts, hop on the spot. Good. So one side is gonna feel easier than the other. Good. Trying to stay on that spot, feeling the foot, keeping nice and light on the feet. Allow the heel to touch the floor, kiss the floor, and relax. Fabulous. So now we'll come into the same kind of sequence, but we're working laterally. So we're working the adductors and the abductors, and we're working the outer hips and the inner thighs as we work through this little sequence. So we're gonna step, first of all, right leg out to the side, bit like a deadlift, flat back, back to the center. So this one, 3 like this. We're balancing on left leg. Good. Then we're gonna lift up. Bring our hands to our hips as we balance. Good. And so after this one, we're then gonna take that raise onto the tiptoes. Good. Good. Stay here. Step back into your plank. This time you're going to lift the right leg up. Take it outside your mat. Left leg up. Take it outside. Right back. Left back. Same thing other side. Left first. Then right. Then in, then in. We're gonna march laterally, swapping sides each time, or every couple as I seem to be doing right now. Lift up, step back in, come up to stand. Single leg deadlift, I forgot, on the right side. So we're gonna do that now. So come to a balance, send the hips back, single leg deadlift on that right side. I was supposed to do after we hopped on that right leg. So we're just adding it in now so that we are nicely balanced. Good. And one more. Awesome. So then coming to balance on your left foot, and you're going to jump from side to side. Good. Trying to keep along a straight line as possible. Don't look down, keep looking forward. Good. 2, 1, and release. Fabulous. So from here we go back to our, no we don't, we have runner's touch on the left side. So runner's touch is a bit like the deadlift, but we integrate arms as well. So we're going to press into the left foot, lift the right knee, draw the right knee back, left arm forward. And then we're going to come down to the floor with our right fingertips and left elbow drives to the sky. So integrate the use of the upper body, but your real focus is on what's going on under the sole of your left foot. I really like to do these exercises in bare feet because it really helps me feel the sole of my feet. Good. And then one more. Lovely. And then we'll go to lateral lunges. So taking the feet to the other side of your space, left leg out, touch the floor, back to stand. So from here, we'll do 3 like this, 3 to balance, and 3 to balance with a heel lift. Good. And then from here to balance, and then to balance with a heel lift. My dodgy side. Focus, control. There we are. Good. Good. You'll have one side like me that gets a little tighter. Hinge at the hips. Walk the hands out. Find your plank. Outward, inward, marching. Good. And then come all the way back up. Lateral hops on the right side. So press into the right foot. Imagine a straight line in front of you, running long ways. You're going to try and jump from side to side along that straight line. Good. So noticing, I always notice my challenging side takes longer, takes more concentration, more proprioception. Good. But when it works, it gets there. And then from here, single leg runner's touch on the right leg. So left knee lifts, right arm forward, hinge at the hips, touch the floor, draw back to the center. Good. 2. Nice. 3. Lovely work. So to finish off, we'll take a few of these squats, but we're going to go narrow leg squat jumps. As you lift off the floor, your both feet are going to be lifting off the floor. I know that's different to running, but feel the sole of the foot and really think about that big toe being the last thing to lift. You go out and in. Good. Release. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the 30-minute core strength. We're going to do a similar set next week, focusing on slightly different muscle groups, still working on balance and plyometric lifts as we work through some slightly different movement patterns. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.